Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ERL. Welcome to round 2 of the season 2 of this amazing league. And today our mighty drivers are going to be fighting for the win in the Czech Republic Grand Prix, which is held in Brno, which is a truly difficult but also interesting track that is mostly known for holding the MotoGP World Championship for several years. But today our Formula Volt cars are going to be racing here, and as you can see, it's a track with many slow corners and not many straights. Now we're seeing Mad Max racing. There have been some drama around him. Let's see how he'll do. And also Vinny, who is racing for Maserati today, as Brasidas won't race. In fact, Brasidas will commentate today. In fact, Brasidas is me, so hello everyone. Let's see if there's something else to note. Oh yeah, Matt is serving a drive-through penalty, and Soltari is racing for MP Motorsport. Welcome back, Soltari. He had a win last season in the last round, if I'm not wrong. Or maybe I am, but yeah, maybe he came second, but I'm not sure. Meanwhile, we are at halfway through this qualifying, and Pig is first, and Glow is actually second. He was, now he's third, but it was truly an amazing result for Glow, the French Stig, who never was this high in ERL, so well done. Now we have Matt being first, but with the drive-through to serve, he did a 28.77, which is truly a great lap. Then Piggy second, Seb third. Seb is one of the rookies of this season, but in AMRL he showed some great form. And then we have Glow fourth, still an amazing result. Krustunet, who showed some crazy pace during the free practices, but is now only fifth, and Fan and Skibidi also, great result for him. P7 is really good compared to where he's usually at, so well done Skibidi. And then we have Soltari P8 in his comeback. Petrusa P9, not a great day for Maserati up to now. Frimpong for Aston Martin P10, Nickel P11, qualifying is not his best, Oski, Vinny and Mad Max, but let's see if Matt can increase his advantage as it seems that Piggy can't do better than him. Let's see as Matt crosses the line and he has one more lap to improve his lap time. Piggy will definitely trying to make a better lap than 28.77, and his best lap is only 0.05 of a second slower than Matt's best effort. And let's see if Matt can bring home the pole position, as Matt is going to go over the line and make some mistakes, so this lap won't count, and Matt takes pole position. And it won't count a lot, sadly for him, because he has a drive-through penalty, but this is his first pole position in ERL, if I'm not mistaken, so well done to Matt. So it's time for the race to start. Matt is with hard tires, so he'll serve the penalty in these first laps, and Piggy should immediately take the lead away, as Matt gets away well, but Piggy is going to try and go for the move. Off goes Matt, and Piggy takes the lead of the race in the very first lap, and as Glow sadly gets pushed off. So this was really sad because Glow was right there fighting for P2 actually, as Matt takes second place back. Piggy leads the way, and Skibidi and Petrusa gained a lot of places. Matt immediately to the pits for the drive-through. Petrusa down the inside he goes, and he gets up to P2, as Skibidi is P3 right now, and Piggy is just going away. But these two guys got the dream start, as Krustunet is already putting the pressure on Skibidi, who got the dream start. Maybe doesn't have the pace for the podium, but I mean, props to him. Probably the best start we had all season long, as Krustunet immediately tries to overtake Petrusa, who might be a harder client, as Krustunet tries to find the gap, but Petrusa just closes the door. He and Skibidi proved to be good at starting races, as now Krustunet will have a chance down the inside, but he holds back to go for the switchback, and he gets up to P2. Well done to Krustunet, who just made a very clever move. And meanwhile we are seeing someone lagging hard. It was Glow, who sadly DNFs, as now we are with Krustunet in P2, and Petrusa is fighting for P3 with Skibidi, which means they're gonna lose time, as Pig is still escaping, and this giant train formed with Nikhil and Seb leading it. Petrusa and Skibidi just lost a ton of places out of nowhere, and there are like 10 cars fighting for P3, which is absolutely amazing, as Soltari got P3, and now Seb and Nikhil are fighting for P4, the Gigan Racing versus the Lamborghini, which are part of the same family, and Seb gets pushed off. That was mainly lag, so not Nikhil's fault, as Frimpong also pushes Seb off. Truly not his lucky day, as Soltari lost a bit of places, and now it's just a giant brawl with Petrusa, I think P4, because Nikhil is P3, and then Frimpong and Soltari, this group just divided into some smaller pieces, each fighting with each other, but it's truly amazing. It's like a train with people just overtaking each other, and we couldn't ask for more. And Seb gets pushed off by Oski as well. Literally not his lucky day, but I mean, he's still holding his ground, as I think everyone who is still in the race, so everyone except Glow and F1 fan as well, who we didn't see retire actually, but seems like he retired from the race, is just fighting. Even Vinny, who is now the last of the drivers remaining in P12, is fighting inside this giant train, as the lead of this train is held by Nikhil, but then there are Petrusa and Frimpong, who are just there, just close to each other, just overtaking each other over and over and over, as now Frimpong is up to P4. As our race leaders Piggy and Krustunet go to the pits, and Krustunet is actually way closer than before, and Nikhil is also now in the mix, in the battle for the lead. He has a chance around the outside. Off goes Piggy, through goes Krustunet. Unbelievable stuff, as Krustunet takes the lead of the race, and Piggy finds himself down to P5 after the pit. And this is absolutely unbelievable, because Krustunet just got the lead of the race, as Piggy had a crazy advantage, but he lost it. And also with this strategy, meanwhile Nikhil and Petrusa go to the pits. Nikhil made a crazy move on Piggy round the outside with worn out tires. I don't know why he thought he could pull that off, but as a driver, when you see a gap, you just go for it. And that's what Nikhil did. Meanwhile, we see that Piggy is now fighting with Matt, who had to serve a drive-through penalty, and now it's unbelievable that Matt went from being first in the starting grid to being last after lap 1, and now he's fighting with the driver who led most of the race. What a turn of events, as now Krustunet has a small gap because Piggy lost quite a bit of time fighting with Nikhil, Petrusa, Matt and Frimpong, and this means that Krustunet can manage that gap. Meanwhile, we are with in the fight for P4 with Matt going down the inside on Petrusa and taking the place, also moving him a bit in the snow, but I wouldn't say that's a dirty move, as now Petrusa going for it down the inside of turn 1 but Matt still has a chance to take the place back, and he does so. Very interesting fight with these two who are, I'd say, pretty clean. Especially Matt is way cleaner than usual, and we just love to see that, especially in a track like this one where overtaking is not easy at all, with Petrusa now having another chance into turn 1, Matt covering the inside, Petrusa going round the outside, he just can't pull it off, but meanwhile they overtake Nickel. No, they don't, because Nickel pushes them both off, but yeah, that was just the situation. It couldn't be avoided with now Matt taking P3, overtaking Nickel, and Petrusa also having a chance. Let's see, as Petrusa utilizes to his advantage a small mistake by Nickel, but now they are three ways side by side in the first straight, and Nickel and Petrusa go off, and through goes Matt with taking back P3. This is a fight between the two Gigan Racing and the Maserati of Petrusa, and it's so beautiful to see it, but they're also slowing each other off, and this allows Petrusa, Oski and Soltari to catch up to this trio, which will mean that we may have a 5-way fight, but they are not stopping. They're still overtaking each other, with Petrusa going for it down inside of Nickel, but Nickel responds. Petrusa overtakes him again. We had 4 overtakes into 1 lap, and they both go off. They both go off as Matt now builds a gap thanks to that little incident, which means that now Petrusa, Soltari, Oski and Nickel are fighting. 4-way fight now, no more, because Frimpong goes to the pits. Nickel lost a bit of ground, and both Petrusa and Soltari now are fighting for P4. Nickel just had a lot of excursions into the snow. The most famous one will be the one that is now costing Piggy the lead of the race, as now the top 2, which we haven't talked about for quite a while, have gone to the pits, and Crustonet is also increasing the gap. As we can see, he's just, he has an advantage with taking the lead, not by having to overtake Piggy, but so far Crustonet is proving to be faster than Piggy. As now we are in a 4-way fight for P7. This race is just so full of crazy fights so far, which is unexpected, because in this track it's very difficult to stay close to the car in front because of the many corners that there are. Slipstream is not that useful, and fighting is really difficult, because when you do the slightest mistake you end up in the snow and lose a lot of time. But for now our drivers are pulling off an amazing race, as now we are in the fight for P7 with Oski, Frimpong and Soltari, with Oski and Frimpong side by side in the straight. They try not to slow each other off as they are from the same team Aston Martin, and Soltari may use that to his advantage. Let's see, as 1 MP versus 2 Astons, Soltari down the inside of Frimpong takes the place, and now it can do the same on Oski. He waits for now, probably for the main straight, which is the only decent overtaking spot, but these drivers are just overtaking everywhere. As Seb lost a lot of time, there was a problem for him when entering the pit lane, as Oski just resists around the outside and also casually overtakes Nickel, who is going slowly for some reason. Maybe his tires are dead, but I don't know, like they overtook him like he was a back marker or something. But Nickel won't give this up. He tries to go for the move on Soltari, but I'd say his tires are really old, because he's struggling a lot. He stays on track though, and Oski is still keeping Soltari behind. I don't know why Soltari isn't going for it. Maybe he wants to keep a good rhythm. He knows that his race is not with Oski, but I don't know. Meanwhile, we are just checking on the first guys, and the top 4 are just all by themselves. But for p5 it's not the same, as Oski and Soltari are fighting, and Soltari going for it down the inside of turn 1 takes the place, and they also both overtake Matt and Petrusa, who were on the pizza. So different strategies at play, they may play a role in the final result, as now Matt is with new hard tires and may have a chance with Oski, who will be faster on the straights but definitely not on the corners. So let's see, as they both go off in the last corner. This means that Soltari just escapes, and also that Matt overtakes Oski down the side of turn 1. So Soltari is keeping a good lead of this little group, but Matt with his new tires may catch up really fast, as now we are following the rest of the pack with Skibidi, who had a great first lap, but then he lost a bit of touch, and Cruz Tunet, who is just making an absolutely brilliant race so far. He's used a lot of soft tires. I think he used mediums too. Same goes for Piggy. I think he only went with soft tires. I don't know if that's the best strategy, especially in a track where you don't always go flat out, like this is not Monza. But still, I mean, it's working out for them, especially for Krusunet, who is increasing his lead on Piggy. And I mean, increasing your lead on someone like Piggy has to be quite the achievement. And now we are still with the rest of the group. There might be a fight between Seb and Soltari, with Seb who made a couple of mistakes. This could allow Soltari to go for the move, and it does. Seb makes another mistake, allowing Soltari to take the inside line and overtake him, but Seb won't let that one slide. In fact, he takes the slipstream but doesn't go immediately for the move. He knows that Soltari is on better tires. And the same is not for Oski and Nikhil, because Oski goes for the move right at the place where Nikhil pushed the Piggy off, and he completes the move, but not yet, because somehow Nikhil keeps Oski behind. Not for long though, because Oski takes the position. Nikhil doesn't give this up, and he has a chance at turn 1. Let's see if he can take it. He's pretty far behind, so I don't think he'll dive bomb here, because it would be a suicidal idea. But now he has a chance at the chicane. Let's see, he doesn't go for the move down the inside. In fact, he still waits. Maybe wants to see an error from Oski, but he makes an error himself and he loses a bit of ground. Now we are in the fight with Skividi and Mad Max for P10. Mad Max in his debut, he makes a mistake. He's P11 in his debut. This race has a slightly lower level, I'd say, than round 1, at least for the fight for P10, 11. And now we are we are still checking on the top 6, who are all by themselves, but Oski and Nikhil are still fighting. Nikhil, knowing that his tires are not in the best shape, but still his just racer instinct says that he needs to overtake the car ahead, and we just love to see that. Piggy, I don't think does, but I mean, still, it's fun to see, you know, as Oski is keeping P7 and Nikhil goes wide once again. I don't know how many times he went wide, but somehow he's still having a pretty good race. I don't know how he's pulling that off, but compliments, and also compliments to Matt, who got pole position, showing a great rhythm. Then third is drive-through, and now is P3, just behind the two guys who are clearly faster than the pack. I think without the drive-through, Matt today had a chance of winning, but he'll probably need to just wait for his win, which I hope for him will come before or later. And who might get his first win is actually Krustenet. Now, we don't wanna like jinx it, but I think is having a great race. As now we might see some fights behind. The front of the pack is just not in the position to fight. And now we are following Vinny, who is P12, and he's 18 seconds behind Mad Max. So not the best performance for him, but he still brings home a point, which is really good for the team, and he still needs the chance to drive. In fact, he showed some good form, but probably today things are just going a little bit wrong. As now Matt is keeping P3, and yeah, the situation is really calm for him. He can go for hard tires to the end of the race to avoid making mistakes. He doesn't need soft tires, which would be good at 8 laps from the end of the race. So I think his strategy makes a little bit of sense. As Krustunet is still on soft tires, like his strategy was soft. I think maybe he started on mediums, but I'm almost sure that Piggy only ran with soft tires. I don't know why, but it's just working out. But honestly, today Piggy's strategy might not have been the best, and that's because after his pit he just went and found traffic, and you definitely don't want that because it might lose time and even the lead from the car behind, which was the case today. The Kristunet who had the same strategy as Piggy, but he was just a little bit luckier with not being pushed out. But after that little bit of luck, he showed a crazy pace. He built a gap of 10 seconds in like 25 laps, which is amazing to build a gap like that, and I think is deserving every inch of this victory. Of course, hopefully he won the DNF. I mean, if he DNFs, you can already say it's going to be my fault. But yeah, Krustonet, as you can see, is still pushing, giving it all. He doesn't care if he makes a little mistake here and there. He's now at 12 seconds of advantage. I think Piggy gave up, and that makes sense because you just can't recover something like that. You just need to hope the car ahead crashes, because there's no way, even with a bad mistake, you won't lose 12 seconds, which is the current gap. As now Krustonet is just completing the last laps with Oski, who is a backmarker. I think they're enjoying a little ride, and this is amazing to see. As now Petrusa might catch up on Matt, but even if he probably won't get the podium, he has a small chance, but it's very difficult. Still, great performance by him, who was starting like P8, but in the race he had a crazy start, a lot of fights. As always, Petrusa is always in the mix of these fights, and always gives us a lot of fun. And yeah, still P4 is a great result for both him and Maserati. And let's see if he can recover a bit. He's now down to 2 seconds of gap from Matt, which is not a lot. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is the time to get up from your sofa and to clap for this young guy, for Krustunet, who just did every corner the right way and who just set a punishing pace and deserved his first ever win. He came out of nowhere in the very first race I commented, and now it's time for him to win his first ever race. El Rey de Catalunya wins the Czech Republic Grand Prix ahead of Piggy, who for the first time ever in ERL doesn't win a race he finishes, but he still brings home a P2, and it's not a terrible day for him. And Matt, what a brilliant race and recovery, one of his best performances ever. Petrusa, great result for him as well. And then we have Soltari, Seb, Oski, Nickel, Frimpong and Mad Max to round out the top 10. Kristonet even brought home the fastest lap and won by 12 seconds. Unbelievable performance. and then the rest with Vinny P11, Skibidi P11, Vinny P12, and then Glow and F1 Fan. As for the standings, Piggy keeps the lead of the championship, but Krustunet is really close now, and we might have a championship battle. These two are just way ahead of everyone else. Meanwhile, in the Constructors' Championship, MP Electricity keeps its lead, followed by Jackie. Then we have Aston Martin, who did two good results, then Maserati, Lamborghini, Williams, and Panda with the Hurricane yet to score any points. And now it's time to play the Spanish anthem for this brilliant winner today, Rey de Catalunya, Krustunet.